Well, good day, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nancy Seaver from Mind Alive, and with me today I've got Marianne, our social media person, and we have our special guest here is Antoinette from Sierra Tucson. And Antoinette, thank you so much for being with us here today. We wanted to just talk to you a little bit about how you use ABE and CES in your practice there.
I'm happy to do so. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. We love the audiovisual entrainment here at Sierra Tucson, and we have developed a neuromod lab or neuromodulation lab where we can actually see several patients at any given time. And what we do with the ABEs is we have actually developed several different protocols for our patients who are suffering from a variety of different difficulties. So we have a protocol for sleep. We have a protocol for brain brightening, improving memory, focus. We have a protocol for improving the mind-body integration, in addition to having protocols to teach patients how to calm. And that's a lot of the alpha theta training protocols on the ABE that we use. Before COVID, we were doing 6 patients at a time in a lab. And these protocols would build on themselves. And so the patient would have the experience of using the ABE and the CES in combination form in order to help promote those goals, whether it was improved sleep or reduced anxiety. And so when we do ABE, we do it all the way. We attach the ears, we do the colored goggles, and we also do the binaural beats. Some patients like the heartbeat, some patients don't. And then we use ambient music in the background as well. We begin each of those sessions with an induction. So when folks are in their zero gravity chairs and they're chilling out, we actually invite them to relax because our patients are very busy and they're always trying to solve problems and they're trying to figure things out if they're doing this right or not. And my experience with the ABE is the more you are open to the stimulation, the better it will work, because then it takes you to that neuroplastic state where you're in that dreamlike state. So that's why we do the induction during all of these sessions. With COVID, we now only do 4 people at a time, and they're very much spaced out about 10 feet apart. So everyone is protected and safe. And that's how we run the labs. We also use ABE in private bio or neurofeedback sessions when it is appropriate to the protocols that we're doing with the traditional biofeedback and the traditional neurofeedback. And so oftentimes when we do heart rate variability training, the patients are very engaged in that process. In the latter half of the session, like maybe the last 20 minutes, we'll do an audiovisual entrainment with them just to get them to settle down a little bit and not have to work so hard and just do some receiving, if you will, because neuromodulation can be so receiving and so calming to the nervous system. And a lot of our patients just absolutely love how they feel afterwards. And if it's all right with me to add to that is it's not unusual in the individual sessions that we'll also add the Oasis Pro and do transcranial direct current as well. And we do the Oasis Pro and the ABE with the green goggles for our chronic pain patients, because there are several research articles that are showing that when there's a green exposure to the optic nerve, it can actually elicit a little bit less a pain response. And so we have special protocols where we use the transcranial direct current to reduce pain by putting the anode on the shoulder and pulling the energy from the sensory motor rhythm area. And we've had great success doing using those protocols as well.
Wow, that's
run just the CES by itself with your patients?
If we had an ABE unit for every single patient here, which means we would have to have 120 at any given time, I would want every patient to have the CES as part of their daily routine, and to run it whenever they needed to, especially if they're doing group process work. And then they could use it as a stimulator to promote more alpha. Unfortunately, we can't do that. And so we only have a very limited time when we get to work with them. And oftentimes it's maybe once or twice a week. And so we don't actually do the CES separately by itself, even though I have in the past loan them out to patients to use it for that purpose, to help calm the mind. And especially with the Oasis Pro, because the Oasis Pro is like a brilliant piece of engineering, and the cranioelectrical stimulation options on the Oasis Pro, I mean, you've got gamma all the way to sub-delta. And I've used that instead of the CES that's attached to the ABE for specific needs, especially the sub-delta for chronic pain. Because, it's my understanding that when you use sub-delta CES on the Oasis Pro, it releases endorphins. It's interesting because a lot of patients feel a little wobbly when they first do that sub-delta. It's interesting, like, just breathe through that, you'll be fine. And they do, they let go. And then all of a sudden they're like, it was amazing, experience for them.
Yeah.
There are a lot of studies on CES for drug abstinence or cravings, stopping cravings, helping take the edge off of cravings. A lot of clinics that deal with recovery and rehab, they really like the CES portion.
Do they follow any particular protocols where they use it several times a day, every day, or?
I haven't actually looked at the exact protocols that were in the studies. I looked at the book by, is it Ray Smith, Nancy?
Yeah, Ray Smith.
It's about it's called cranial electrotherapy stimulation, I think. And that's where I'm getting this information from. He quoted a whole bunch of different studies and showed the effects of CES. And he even compared CES to antidepressants. And where CES, I can send you the graph of where CES landed in that, and it's higher than all of the other antidepressants.
Really? Please send me that information.
I will.
We have addiction co-occurring programs here in addition to our mood programs and trauma and chronic pain. So I think our director would really find that helpful, and it would allow us to use the ABE outside of the neuro lab environment. One of the things that has come up recently that we've been approached from other outside vendors is this notion of using electrical stimulation during detox from opiates. And there are very special units that go around one ear, and it is alternating current that attaches through the same region that the CES will attach here, but it's closer to the tragus. And they also have units that attach to the back of the ear to stimulate the trigeminal nerve. So the tragus and the vagus nerve, and then the trigeminal nerve, and it's used together to help reduce some of the more awful symptoms that come with detox. And of course, when they were bringing it to our attention, I'm thinking, that's an ABE, but you don't put on the earlobe, you just stick it in a different region. We're already doing that, right? With a little extra oomph to it. So there's a lot of applications that can be used for this technology in so many ways. And I think we're all just starting to scratch the surface, to be honest with you.
Dave did set up the ear clips on my ear one day and took a picture so I could use it for social media, how to stimulate the vagal nerve with the cranioelectrostimulation. And you put one, and I can't remember, I'm going to email you the information, because one is red and one is black. One goes on the inside on the tragus, and then goes on the lobe. So I'll also email that to you.
And then what I'll do is we'll run a few patients through that, and I'll let you know what their feedback is. So that's really helpful. So both sides are on one ear.
Correct.
Okay.
And we also have the sticky electrode kits with the snap cables. Some people they aren't comfortable using the ear clips. So you can also put the sticky electrode right behind the ear and use the CES.
Well, next time I get an Oasis Pro, I'm going to look for that sticky electrode. I haven't seen one of those yet.
And if you can't find them, let us know. We'll point them out to you.
Okay, good. There's one thing I want to throw out there and share with you all, and it always just brings such clinical joy to me, is, oftentimes when we have our addicted patients going through one of the AVE protocols, especially for like one that promotes alpha or alpha theta in combination, Paradise is actually one of my favorite protocols because it takes you down nice and gently, is we will get addicts at the end of the session. They sit up in their chair and they're like, I feel like I just smoked pot and I feel great. And I say to them, you did that without an outside substance. And then they sit and then the bells go off like, oh my God, my mind is capable of reaching those states without aid of something outside of myself. And there's a lot of unspoken growth that happens, but there's an awareness where all of a sudden they start to get that they have the resources naturally in them to succeed in recovery. And, the David Delight Pro is just one of those forums to help them get there. And it's all done naturally. And it helps them to learn about the brain and how it's really a receptive tool and it responds to stimulation. And if we just allow it to do what it's naturally supposed to do with a little nudging, from our development with the AVE, patients start to understand their own potential. So there's a lot of positive that comes out of our department because of our work with Mind Alive. And I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know if other folks have that same experience with patients where they have these aha moments, but we see it time and again. And it's just so encouraging to me that we're helping these people make that process.
Well, that's really encouraging for us too. We love to hear those kinds of stories. It's really helpful for us to hear how successful it can be. And I also find too, and it's relatively simple to use too.
Right.
So it's pretty handy tool in the toolbox, I say. So
it is. It's a brilliant feat of engineering, and there's nothing compares to it. So we love it. And our patients want to buy them when they finish the program, and we steer them in your direction, and there's just goodness from it. There's no outside medication involved. They don't have to pay a ton of money for ongoing psychotherapy if they're implementing their own unit as part of their recovery. So good stuff.
Yeah, good.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, those stories and your successes with us. And we're just so thrilled to have you be a part of our team here. And I'm just so glad that what we do here can help you do what you do there. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Nancy and Marianne. And it's an honor to be a part of this team. I mean, this is like the best part of my job is working with folks like you. So thank you. And it's been a pleasure anytime.
Good. Well, it's a lot of fun for us to doing this project here where we get to be able to talk to people using right there in the field. So thank you so much for spending some time with us today doing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.